Hey, I think we're live.
I think we are live as well. Hello, Facebook.
Ooh. Hi.
My name is Emily, pronouns she, her.
Hey, I'm Tammy. My pronouns are also she, her.
And welcome to this live feed feature, episode 1 of the Women Project Education Fund Civics Camp 2022.
Yes. So what we're doing here is um, we are have created a series of videos through the Woman Project Education Fund. Many of you know the Woman Project. It's an arts advocacy group here in Rhode Island. Well, we have a nonprofit education side where we create content that's really just meant to educate folks about how to get more involved in the world and in local politics and get engaged civically engaged. And
Yes,
so,
these are nonpartisan issues that are just really about, how to that everyone can get behind.
yes, absolutely. So we received some funding from the Rhode Island State Council for the Humanities to create a series of videos to do just that, to educate folks about some of the things we've learned in our handful of years of activism and of being civically engaged. And so we kind of learn the ins and outs a little bit of the political process. And so we wanted to share some of that knowledge with you in ways that is fun and engaging, in ways that will help you get excited to learn more and get involved yourself.
Yes. And so one of the ways that we did that is we created the RI for All video series. So you can reach this by just going to riforall.org on your home computer of choice. And with a little internet magic, it pops up. So this is to get you back to the TWP Education Fund website here, but scrolling down gives you an idea of where you can find all of these videos. So we made 6 videos. They're all short. The longest one is about 7 minutes, but most of them hover around 3 minutes. And they feature all different themes that we personally found to be really important when we were going through the process of passing laws for bodily autonomy here in the state. So this is stuff that we learned on the fly from generations before and activists next door. And, us being artists, we had a lot of power and potential, but really needed some guidance. So all of these videos are different themes, and you can see the themes at the top. You can click on the videos to watch them here. And then over here, there's some descriptions as well as some informations about where you can find these live feeds that we're doing, today being the first one. So we've got 6 videos, and so I'm just scrolling through because I do love this little website so much.
At the
Also,
website.
blue website part that is all about different helpful resources. We reached out to some experts, and man, oh man, did we have like a running Google Doc of like, I don't know, 300 resources. So we whittled it down and we found the most helpful ones that we felt were like places to start and places to get you the most direct answer. So just looking here, you can see that there's some questions like if you want to know your district or who represents you, right? It says it right here, just click on this website. So scrolling down, we've got some stuff about bills and about generals. And then this is all of our creative team, everybody that was there to help us with the videos. So huge, huge thanks to everybody involved. And then the Rhode Island Council for the Humanities, of course, shout out to our friends there who really trusted us and felt that our vision was worth some dollars behind it. And that really opened some incredible doors for people to be on board with this and to be as big as it is. Hopefully gaining speed and gaining traction. And I'm all the way at the bottom of the website because this is where you can find how to follow us. So we are putting out smaller features and things all the time, either about this or about other actions. And so if you don't already follow us, you can choose your platform du jour, platform of choice, and click on these little buttons at the bottom and get signed up real quick.
And so I think the coolest thing about the website, the series is called RI for All. It's 6 videos in the series, but riforall.org, I think our kind of vision for it is that it can be a little bit of a one-stop shop. If you're not sure about how to get engaged, with local politics or how to just make your voice heard at the state house or whatever, just go to riforall.org. We have all kinds of resources. You can watch the videos and get in touch with us directly. So that's the idea with RI for All. And that kind of brings us to what we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight is night one of Civics Camp.
Yeah. We designed the website kind of like a little digital toolbox, right? And so what we're doing over the next 3 weeks is really sort of pulling out one tool at a time and taking a second to admire it, talk about it, also discuss how we crafted it. Being artists, we thought it would be kind of interesting, especially artists, right? What are we doing? Why did we do it? What came up for us? So we're going to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes look. If anybody at any point has any questions, feel free to email us or drop them in the live feed. We'll be collecting them and taking them into account for our next live feed video. Yeah, so we're going to be starting with video 1 tonight.
Yeah, so in each night of our civics camp, as Emily said, we're going to be giving behind the scenes, and then we're also going to be showing the video itself and then doing a little bit of a deeper dive into the issues that are discussed. Like Emily said, each video kind of goes into a different part of how to get civically engaged in Rhode Island. They're all specific to Rhode Island. And so we're going to dive into that a little more deeply as well.
So tonight is 7 p.m. on a Sunday. We will be doing 7 p.m. this Sunday and then 7 p.m. this Thursday. And then the pattern will continue for the next 2 weeks. So 3 weeks total, Sundays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. You can tune into Facebook Live, watch the stream. If you miss it, we're going to be posting this on our YouTube channel so you can watch it at a time that's more convenient for you. But yeah, did I miss anything, Tammy?
I think that's it. I think we should show the video.
We should show the video. I totally agree. All right, so I'm gonna play video disc jockey once again, just like we did at our premiere. Just like we did at our premiere week, where we showed all the videos back to back. Pardon my clunkiness. Okay.
So as we say, each video is kind of diving into a different theme about how to engage in the political process. This one's the first one in the series. It's kind of the overview. It's why getting involved in local politics matters, why it's important to do.
All right, I'm all queued up. Thank you so much, Tammy. This is called The Senator Next Door.
Oh man. Dear my president, I'm concerned about pollution and its impact on global climate change. Hello again, President. Haven't heard back yet. And it's been a few weeks. Maybe you're busy? I've recently been thinking about education reform, and I think I have a few ideas on how to make a new law. Me again. I wanted to pen a letter about police violence and some laws to end it. Healthcare access, about prison reform policy. Sex work is work. Reparations, uplifting and empowering Indigenous people, their culture and history. Gender equality amendments. The pothole in front of my grandma's house.
Hey, Riley. You okay?
Oh, hi.
Riley, what's wrong?
I want to help write new good laws and get rid of the bad ones to make lasting change. So I've been writing all these political letters, but I haven't gotten a single response.
Really? That's weird. I always get a response when I reach out. Maybe try inviting her out for coffee?
Go to coffee with the President of the United States?
No, with our neighbor.
What? Our neighbor?
Yeah, she's a Rhode Island state senator.
She is? Really?
Yeah, she's really rad too.
I saw her the other day. We were talking about all the potholes around town from all the heavy rains.
The one in front of Nana's?
Yeah, that one too. She told me to contact the Department of Transportation online and file a claim, and I think it's gonna get fixed pretty soon.
I can't believe that all this time I've had a senator next door.
We're really lucky here in the state of Rhode Island. We're so small, proportionally speaking, a lot of people have senators living next door.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's really the more intimate levels of government that affect our lives the most directly, like the city council, the school board, our state senators and house reps. They're the ones that are making the decisions that really affect our lives.
Wow, I never thought about that. I'm gonna reach out to our state senator today about my ideas for some new laws.
That's awesome. And check this out. Our senator lives so close, you can save these stamps for letters to grandma.
This feels like the perfect vehicle to move this bill concept from being just an idea in my head to a law in our future, Tammy.
Let's go write her a letter and then tape it to her door.
Yeah!
Yay!
This is the
YouTube. So yeah, that was our first video in the series, called The Senator Next Door. I think, part of the creative process of these was trying to figure out which topics we wanted to cover and how we wanted to dig into those, and like how can we kind of boil things down to make it digestible for people who aren't normally really engaged in the process. So that's another thing I will say is for folks who might be watching this or might encounter these videos, we'll say this over and over again, but if you know someone else in your life who maybe doesn't know much about local politics or isn't quite engaged, wants to get involved, doesn't know how, share these videos with them, let them watch and let them learn and understand why getting involved in local, state and local politics matters. But I think that was part of why, the inspiration for this particular video was that many people do understand that national politics is very important and people don't pay as much attention to the state politics. So we'll get into that in a second, but I just wanted to kind of tag that that's part of the inspiration for why this video is the first in the series.
Yes. And it's the first in the series, but it wasn't the first one that we shot. So I thought that was kind of funny too. Like we didn't like think it was going to be the first one in the series, like it was like we I think I misspoke. We shot it first, but we thought it was going to be probably like video
later
or something. I don't quite remember. But we had a friend of ours loan us their home because they went away to Maine, and said, yeah, sure, you need a quiet place to shoot, no problem, like just use our house. Our house is pretty cute. It's got lots of colorful backgrounds and things. And so we showed up like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and like ready to go and like, starry-eyed, like we're gonna shoot this whole series in just 2.5 days.
2 years later. No, that was 1 year ago. That was 1 year ago. It took us a year to write the scripts and write the grant, and then it took us another year to release it. But anyway, but we didn't know what we were doing. This was the first time we had made videos on this scale. Emily and I like to make social media videos together from time to time, and we have fun with that, but we never really made anything with a budget or with, sort of bigger concept like that. And so, this was us figuring things out. We didn't have a full crew or anything. We had our friend who was helping us do the filming and the sound. And then we had our other friend who was doing that wonderful puppetry that you see.
And like, thank God that they were our friends, because like we really like, okay, so I think that the energy that both of us bring to this is like, we're gonna just do it by gum, just like we'll figure it out on the fly, because like it's all passion for us. And so like hell or high water, we're getting this done, right? And so we show up and we have like actual like experts, right, that like know what they're doing. And like it was a learning curve for us because you know, we didn't, and we are just so used to like, yeah, let's just make like a little video on you know, iMovie, the free version, and like put it all together, and it works for us. But to scale it up, like there was some definitely like big questions that had to
Learning curves.
learning curves all over the
Yeah.
place. But it was like beautiful. I mean, I think that like it, I always say that like the thing that I love doing, the part that I love most about the Woman Project is like not necessarily just what I give to the process, but also like what I get in return and all the relationships that I make and like just how much I learn and how much I grow. And you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you make a little bit of a mess, but like it's human and it's really
Yeah.
approachable. And that's, I think, what people had given us feedback about our videos previously, is that they were approachable and fun and quirky and cute. And so I'm glad that we kind of kept that.
Yeah.
We scaled up and
Yeah.
like actually had a team and some like, you know, enough money to buy more than just donuts for ourselves the night before, you know. So yeah, it was a first one that we shot. Didn't think it was going to be first in the lineup. It became first in the lineup because when we finished everything, we rearranged it on a time scheme that prioritized the primaries. Right. And so this is night one of our little Civics Camp, which is a 3-week journey where we're going to be featuring all these videos one at a time. And we realized that we had the ability to kind of show our videos to come that feature the primaries at a time when people
Close to the primaries.
are close to the primaries. So this is being filmed live on Facebook Live. The year is 2022. The Rhode Island primaries are Tuesday, September 13th. If you don't have it in your calendar, you now have no excuse to not have it in your calendar. Put it in the group chats, make an alarm, and we'll keep talking about it over the next week and a half.
So we thought it was important to have this one first, which is just generally speaking, why pay attention to local politics, and it's because these are the issues that really directly affect our lives. From the pothole in front of Nana's to, you know, to our bodily autonomy, to our education, to the policing, to healthcare, like so many important issues, mental health care, like so many important issues are dealt with right here on the state level. And in Rhode Island, we are so small that each individual person can actually make an impact. Like it's kind of a joke, like a metaphor to say that there's a senator living next door, but like you might have one. The districts are pretty, some of them are pretty small, and you might encounter them next door. You might encounter them at the PTA meeting or at their local business that they run, or what have you. They're probably somebody's cousin that you know. This is Rhode Island, so our state and local reps are pretty accessible, as long as you know who they are, and as long as you understand that it's important to engage them and to keep track of like what's actually going on at the state house. So,
and I love that you said that, Tammy, in your last sentence. It's like, yeah, it's real easy to figure them out once you know who they are, which, like, speaking personally for myself, like I did not really grow up that civically knowledgeable about really much of anything, and I had a lot of shame and embarrassment around it. And it's like, you know, I didn't want to recognize, or like, I didn't know how to start, I guess. And so, do you feel good about moving into the action for tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Part of Civics Camp is like a little bit of like a civics, you know, activity. We won't say homework because there's like, you know, a stigma to that, but this is just like, you know, here you are learning this stuff. It's an action, right? Like this is like the first step into it. And if you've already done it, don't worry. We have like, you know, more graduated steps for you as well. So I'm going to share screen again and go back to my browser.
So I can kind of talk while you do that, if that's helpful.
That's so helpful.
So basically, as Emily was saying, we want to, right now in particular, folks want to know how to get involved. They want to know how how to, make their voice heard. They want to know like how they can affect change in the world around them. And this is one way that they can do that is well, we have little ways that you can do that throughout the series, but here's one for our first video in the series is simply just finding your who represents you. And that is, that's basic, but it's so, so powerful because when you realize that there is somebody up on Capitol Hill, on Smith Hill, that like kind of answers to you, like it's really empowering. And also, like, quite honestly, again, because it is a small state, if a rep or a senator hears from 10, 12, 15 people about a particular issue, it really totally pushes it to the top of their priorities because they think, oh, my constituents, they care about this thing. And so, but you have to know who it is first. And it's super easy to do. You just go to vote.sos.ri.gov. This is the website Emily has up. This is the Secretary of State's website, and she has a great voter information center. And so you can find out who represents you, and also you can get prepared to vote. You can figure out how you can register or check on your registration. You can apply for a mail ballot, although for the primary, it's too late to do that, but you can do that for the general election. You can find out where your polling place is. If I didn't already say that, you can find out when the next election is. All of that is super, super helpful. I do that at least, a couple times a year, like right before I'm about to go vote, make sure, because they do actually, the primaries are coming up, and redistricting is happening as well. So the person you thought represented you might not no longer soon, or the place where you normally vote might have changed because they do shift them during the primary sometimes. So always a great idea to just check vote.sos.ri.gov just to see where you're at.
Yeah. And so if you do not know currently what district you're in or who represents you, right? I mean, Tammy just said beautifully, we've got elections on the horizon. So this is definitely where you should be putting some of your energy. But if you're watching this video 3 months from now or whatever, this is where you can direct friends that you know to figure out who represents you in the state. So it's really easy. You just click this one right here, which is view or update my voter record. And then boom, right there, you can just put in your first and last name, your date of birth, the zip code, and hit continue. Like, this is not a reset your password situation. Your password must have like 17 letters and some of them ampersands in like another, language. It's real straightforward and easy. It can like 3 seconds to get this done. And I've actually got a couple of screenshots so that way you can see what it looks like when you do put in your information. Like, what the heck am I, gonna get for this for this situation here? So the first one I get right here. Okay. Oh, I did it wrong. We love to be approachable here at the Women Project.
We love it. We love to be approachable.
On purpose to just,
But we really and this is just to go to show you, like, we're not professional, like, voting experts. We're not professional civics PhDs or whatever. We're just regular people who cared about particular issues, and we found a way in to get involved with them. For me, particularly, was through the Woman Project. And we've just learned some things over that course of time. So we just want to share that with you. And this is one of those things where, we learned that actually if you go to the Secretary of State's website, they have a lot of valuable information. So we just want to share that with you and everybody.
Yeah, so once you put in your information, this will pop up and, be relevant to you specifically. Or it might tell you, hey, you need to, fix your voter registration, which is something that you should be checking on a regular basis, especially with things coming up. And if something does come up, I think Nellie said last week, right? Like, just contact either her office, the Secretary of State, or your local, polling place and
Board of Canvassers, the Board of Elections.
Exactly. They'll do everything that they can to try to get it all straightened out so that way you can be there with your vote in hand. So your information will be here in the middle. And then on the side, you can see all the district information. So when people say, oh, what district are you in? And you're like, oh man, my grandmother's calling me, right? Like this is where you get that information. So that way you have it at the ready. And you can also see if things have changed because of the redistricting that naturally happens every 10 years. Yeah, 10 years, right?
10 years, yep, with the census.
All right, awesome. So you get that information and then, but wait, there's more. You also get, oh my God, I feel like people are waiting something like, but wait,
But there's more.
there's more. For that same low price of you putting in just your name and address, here you are. You can find out your upcoming elections right at the top and all of the elected officials. This is a government site. Clicking on them, gives you like all their information. So right here, right? If you're having a feeling, having a thought, right? This is who you can contact. And you can CC everybody. And in our videos, we give you some information to like be much more fine-tuned about who you go to with what issues and all of that. But these people, they do work for us. And I'm not saying that in like a disrespectful way at all, but like I'm saying it as in they're here to like
that's their job, is to represent what we want.
Yeah. So it's like, they're going to take your email and they're going to take it seriously. They're going to take your call and they're going to take it seriously. And if they don't, then you get to vote next time.
No. See, to me, it's a whole cycle, and we'll keep talking about this. We're probably going to wrap up in a couple minutes, but we'll keep talking about this throughout the series. But becoming engaged in local politics and in local civics and what's happening at the state house is a cycle, and it doesn't really end. To me, it does start with voting in many ways. That's the kind of the way in. A lot of people do that as their kind of main step to becoming engaged. And but it doesn't end with voting. To me, you vote for the person that you think represents what you want the most, and then sometimes they win and sometimes they don't. If they win, then you keep an eye on them and you keep telling them what you want and what you want them to do at the state house. And if it's the other person that you didn't want won, then you help the candidate that's running against them. But all throughout the process, you're still checking in, you're still making sure you're holding people accountable. And then if they don't do what you want, guess what? In Rhode Island, we have elections every 2 years. So you don't have that long until you can make your voice heard again and let people know. Like in 2022, this is an election year. And you can let them know, okay, I didn't like what you did, or I loved what you did. I hope you have another 2 years.
So this is the very last piece of what you get when you put in your information. So not one, not two, but 3 screenshots is what I have prepared for y'all tonight. And I did want to point out that these are who you contact if you have an issue. If something comes up, you can reach out to these folks. They're all, every time I've ever called a board of canvassers, it's just the nicest person on the phone. And shout out that there's a button in the corner to put this in Spanish. So that is something that I see all over our state website, and I love that it's there. And just want to say, this information belongs to all of us, and that's part of the mission and vision of what we were doing with this series, is just trying to get the information to folks in a way that is not boring.
Yeah, we try. It's dry stuff, but at the end of the day, this is the stuff that matters to our lives. So it may be a little dry to talk about, and we try to spice it up a little bit. But it's actually very, very important, especially now. I've been saying this a lot lately. There can be feelings of a little bit of despair or frustration with our political process. But I just want to remind people that there are still ways that you can get involved. There are still things that you can do to help shape the world the way you want it. And one of the best ways, I think, is to get involved at the state level.
Yes, absolutely. State level and lower, right?
And lower. Yeah.
You've got your school board, you've got everybody that's
town council,
right? Like those folks are making huge decisions that really matter in your life in a mega way. And we're going to be talking about that in the future and these little live features here. So I think that's the action for tonight.
The action is to go to the website.
Right? figure out, make sure that everything's all the pieces are in a row and organized for you to be voting in the primaries. Make sure you know where to go, make sure you know who you're voting for. You can get like a nice little, moment to kind of put it all together. And then like the bonus action, if you already do this or you're just looking for like, extra credit,
Yeah.
if you want to go above and beyond, go like past the should but to the could, right? This is my teacher energy here. Make it beyond you, right? This is another piece of what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this not such a solitary act, because first of all, being lonely sucks, but like also like that's the power of a democracy, is like everybody matters. It's RI for all. So we're trying to get everybody involved. So go ahead and tell a friend how to do this. Like, go ahead and share our goofy little video. And that's not me trying to like get famous on Rhode Island. I really don't want to do that. But I want people to vote. I want people to feel inspired. The feelings that Tammy mentioned about feeling like disheartened with politics right now, like it resonates. I have those really dark days where I'm like, oh, despair, right? But I think when you can reach out to your people and when you can understand that like the system, is built on people power, and we should feel empowered as the people, to claim that power, to take our friends and bring them with us. So tell a friend that you did this. If you're a social media person, right, of any kind, any caliber, make a post about it, right? Either share our content, which is like, 2 clicks and a like, or make your own content. Like we were just talking about how we didn't know what we were doing.
And we've been having fun like making content to support these videos. So we make a little TikTok. So follow Woman Project on TikTok. Make your own TikTok.
Yeah.
Actually, this is maybe the action for like next time. We haven't talked about this yet, but like, if you want to go, if you're going to vote early in person, or you're on the Secretary of State's website, or what have you, you're making your plan to vote, like make a little TikTok about it. Make it fun, and then invite your friends to do it too. And then, shout us back and let us know that you did it, because we'll be super happy to see it.
And the way that you can shout us out and also keep this conversation sort of reachable is by using a hashtag. I am 34, so I don't know if hashtags are really cool anymore, but they're useful. And like, so wherever platform you're on, use the hashtag RI for all, with the 4 being a little number. So that way people can find each other, right? Like, I mean, anyone that's watching this video and is going so far as to make this, right, your heart's in the right place. So this is going to be an easy way for you to just get in community with people who also have big, giant, gushy hearts and want to make this state as fantastic and inclusive and progressive and like safe and powerful as possible. I'm a big dork about Rhode Island, and so that is tonight's civic action to night 1 of Civics Camp.
Night 1 of Civics Camp, and that's all we have for tonight. And I just wanted to get y'all excited for night 2 of Civics Camp. It's gonna be this Thursday. Oh my gosh, September 1st. Ooh, 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 do you remember? Anyways, that's another TikTok. So it's coming up this Thursday, September 1st, 7 p.m. Join us right back here on Facebook. You'll get to see the second video in our series and get another action, more resources, more behind the scenes stuff. And you get to spend a little quality time with Tam and Em. Why not?
We're gonna be uploading that website as we can, so that way links to this content will be live and available as we have the ability to upload it. So right now you can check out all the videos, you can see all of those hyperlinks, you can like and follow all of the fantastic people that were a part of the series. You can also get all of the dates and times of all of these mini premieres, and then soon is the deadline I'm giving us. Soon we will have the content hyperlinked from tonight, and you'll be able to kind of see it sort of get aggregated into the right spaces.
Yeah. All right.
Tammy, I'll see you on Thursday. Same
I'll
place,
see
same
you
time.
on Thursday. Yeah. Same place, same time.
Civics Camp 2022.
Yay!
Yay.
Woo!
All right. I'm going to leave the meeting because I'm the only one in the thing. Oh, I don't know how to stop the live from Facebook feed. It's so lonely here. Jocelyn, can you stop the feed? Oh no. I'm stuck on the Facebook feed. Jocelyn, help! I think if I just leave, it's not gonna. Oh dear. Oh no.